If you run a small business, you may often find that you need some data analytics to support your operational or strategic decisions. And this may prompt you to start a data analytics project inside of your company. However, in my experience, many small businesses, when they invest in data analytics, they see no return on their investment. This happens for one of the three following reasons. First of all, the process that they choose to analyze may be not optimal, so it's the wrong use case that they select for data analytics. Secondly, they may select the wrong technology, and this technology would start to limit what they can achieve within their data analytics. And finally, they can choose a wrong consultant, and then the project becomes too complex to manage, or it just becomes too expensive. So in this video, I want to explain all of these issues in more detail. I want to explain how to mitigate them, and ultimately how to achieve as much as possible from your investment into data analytics. As a small business, you have a limited budget and you want to achieve as much as possible for this limited budget. So I want to explain you how. Now, first of all, my experience as a data analytics consultant is mostly with tools like Power BI, Tableau, Looker Studio, so that's what I'd be talking about today. It's also with analyzing data from small business-specific data sources like ClickUp, QuickBooks Online, Facebook ads, Google ads. I have done a bit more than 1,000 projects for 500 plus different clients around the world, and in this video, I want to share my experience with clients that got return on their investment and clients who didn't. The first and most important thing is to make sure that you select the right process to analyze. So the process that you select needs to be ongoing within your company. It needs to be linked to some costs that your company is experiencing or the revenue that your company is generating. And this revenue stream or this cost stream is not likely to go away at any time soon. So the only thing that we can do is to manage this process better. So we either decrease costs or we increase revenue. Data analytics is designed to help us to manage this process better. This way, we basically describe a problem, that our problem is we need to increase revenue or decrease costs, and we prescribe data analytics as a logical solution for this problem. So I'll give you some examples where I worked with clients and it was exactly like this. For example, I worked with a UK company in oil and gas industry, and they had a lot of projects in Africa. So they used consultants in Africa and they were sending their oil and gas exploration equipment to them. This equipment was very expensive. Sometimes it was poorly maintained, and sometimes it even got lost. So we decided to create data analytics reports for them so they would always know where their equipment is located, whether it's maintained, who is responsible for maintaining it, and this way they could email the responsible person in advance to remind them about the equipment that they need to maintain. As you can imagine, losing one of those pieces, or if one of those equipment pieces becomes defective, it's a big cost for the company. So logically, if we can manage this process better, then our equipment lasts for longer and the company experiences less costs. Here is another good example of choosing a good use case for your data analytics. So in this case, we worked with a telecommunication company in Europe. We worked with the CFO, and their goal was to generate more business from their existing customers. So we analyzed the business for their key accounts, so the clients that were spending the most with them, and we also analyzed which additional services we can potentially promote to each of their current clients. And this project essentially led to an increase of 10 to 20,000 euros in monthly recurring revenue, and we also found a cost saving opportunity which was 50,000 euros. So again, because this project was linked to a process that actually costs a lot or generates revenue over time, the customer was able to see the return on their data analytics investment. So my number one advice is make sure that you choose a good use case. Now, my second advice is make sure that you dip your toes in the water before you jump in. So create your reports in Excel or in Google Sheets, make them manual in the beginning, but at least see if you get any value from those reports. And if you do, then we can decide to scale them. We can decide to build them in Power BI, Looker Studio, make them more user-friendly, visualize the data better so you can find more insight, and automate them. So essentially your reports keep running in a stable way, and they don't get outdated for a long time because somebody is too busy to refresh them. Now, when it comes to tools, I recommend one of the two options for my clients. I would either recommend Looker Studio because it's free. It also has native integrations with a lot of the Google products like Google Ads, Google Search Console, Google Analytics. So if you're looking to analyze your marketing data in particular, Looker Studio is a good choice. It's also a good choice for your investor reporting, if you have any, because you don't need to buy a license for Looker Studio. So this makes the whole process of managing access and raising access to external people a lot easier. Power BI is a good choice for businesses that run on Microsoft technologies, so businesses that use SharePoint, Dynamics 365 for their CRM, Business Central, Microsoft Planner, all this good stuff. It has some licensing costs associated with it. The license as of now is $14 per user per month. However, you can build your reports using a free license, and this way you can first build them, and then if you see that they're working for you, you can invest into licensing. Now, if you get to this stage and now you want to make your reporting more automated or visualize the data better, I would recommend you first start with free templates that you can find online. So just search for the name of your data source and the technology that you want to use. For example, QuickBooks Online, Power BI template, or Google Analytics, Looker Studio template. And this would give you a lot of ready-made solutions for your needs. A lot of them are free, some of them are paid, but it's essentially always cheaper to buy something ready off the shelf instead of developing everything from scratch. So this way you can buy the file that contains most of the formulas that you need, and you can customize it further to reflect the needs of your particular organization. When it comes to those templates, at VideoCorp we have templates for QuickBooks Online, so we help you visualize the profit and loss, balance sheet and cash flow. We also have a template for ClickUp where you can see the tasks completed by your team, the individual user performance, how many tasks they completed versus are ongoing. You can see how many hours on average each of your users is working every day. We also offer a LinkedIn ads template where you can see how your money is spent, what it is spent on, whether it's awareness, engagement, followers, or lead gen campaigns. And you can analyze each one of those campaign types in more detail based on the metrics that are relevant to those campaigns. Now, the reports that I've just shown are ready-made. They're available for you to download and install for yourself. However, we also have a lot of dashboards that we can install for you. They're ready-made and require a little bit of tweaking. So that includes dashboards for sources like Google Ads, Google Search Console, Facebook Ads, Formidable Forms, and also many others like SEMrush. Now let's talk about how to automate data extraction to your reports, because it's an important topic. You can of course code a custom integration and extract data from QuickBooks Online, for example, using code. However, this process is quite technical and ultimately requires you some management over time. So you'd have to maintain your code and keep up with the version of your libraries that you use in the version of the API. If you don't want to get into any of that, and if you want the most cost-efficient way of extracting data to your reports, I would recommend you look for third-party ready-made connectors. There are a ton of third-party vendors out there that sell their connectors. For marketing data sources, I would recommend Windsor.ai. It's probably the most cost-efficient for small businesses because $20 a month gets you access to 3 data sources to automatically extract your data from. And Windsor is quite good for marketing data sources specifically. So sources like Facebook ads, Google ads, Bing ads, and etc. etc. At VTcorp, we also offer standard ready-made connectors to our clients, and they cover sources like QuickBooks Online, ClickUp, Xero, Salesforce, Shopify, etc. etc. So they're mostly your finance, project management, and CRM data sources. The difference between our connectors and all the others is that we extract data from your data source into a database in the middle, and then this database can be connected to any data analytics platform that you're using, whether it's Excel, Power BI, Looker Studio, or anything else. In terms of the benefits for you as a client, we basically transform the data into a more convenient format for you to work with. So the project becomes a lot less technical. You spend less hours transforming data and more hours analyzing data because of the data transformations that we do as part of our connectors. Secondly, you immediately unlock this data connectivity to all the data analytics tools that you're using. So you can connect it to any tool instead of one single tool. You can even use this data for robotic process automation. So the connection is already enabled through our connectors. Finally, a lot of data sources give you a lot of data to extract. For example, Shopify. If you're trying to extract data from Shopify, you will end up with data exports that are 250 megabytes. Now, extracting this much data using direct connectors is very risky because it's just too much. Your data extraction process would fail or time out or would take 20 plus minutes to run. Whereas if you're connecting to a database, it's a lot more efficient. The database handles the heavy loading of extracting data from an API, and then the data analytics tool that you're using can simply fetch the data from the database, which is a lot more efficient. Finally, let's talk about choosing a consultant for your data analytics project. The most important thing that you want to find as a small business is that a consultant has experience with projects that closely resemble yours. In most cases, this means that a consultant has experience with analyzing data from your specific data sources. And this is one other thing that would help them be more efficient. If they have done it before, they know the data format inside of the data source that you're looking to analyze. They can find this data a lot more efficiently, and they will essentially spend less hours for completing the job for you. They may also have some files laying around that contain some of the formulas that they can already use, and for us, this is what we are doing with our template. Instead of writing all the code from scratch, we simply use one of our templates and customize it further. And this helps us be more efficient, spend less hours for the job, so it's less expensive for you as a client, but we deliver everything within scope and we deliver it faster. I hope that you find this video useful, and I really hope that you receive return on your data analytics investment. And if you have any questions about any of the topics that I covered in this video, then please leave a comment and I'll make sure that I will reply. Thank you and happy data analytics.